Religion without a personal encounter with Jesus Christ will not save the soul, and it will not bring the peace that your soul longs for. You may be a member of some other religion. You may be Catholic, Protestant, Jewish. You may be Hindu, Muslim. Whatever your background, you may not have it.
I heard your distinction because you interrupted me. Because you interrupted me, you can't complain if I interrupt you, can you? There's that double standard again. I can interrupt the Christian and it's okay, but if the Christian interrupts me, it's rude. This is the double standard.
Philosophical problems. We should be using rational debate. We should be using empirical experiment. We should be using logical argument. Appeals to faith, blind faith, in any religion, whether it's Judaism, Hinduism, Christianity.
Beliefs, they will call you homophobic. So why can't you call them Christophobes when they are prejudiced against you?
They're not obliged to support her. If they don't like having a homophobic...
If a Prime Minister said that he was against gay marriage, would you call him a homophobe? Be honest.
If you said he was against gay marriage...
Would you call him a homophobe?
I would say that is an example of homophobia.
There you go! A precise example of the double standards of the progressive.
Explain how.
When a Prime Minister says he is against gay marriage, he is a homophobe. That's what he just said. But he is saying that I can't call people like him Christophobes when they object to Katie Forbes being the First Minister of Scotland. There you go. He's just admitted he's a Christophobe.
I can't stand religion.
There you go. The progressive has just admitted that he is a Christophobe.
No problem with Christians.
But how many of you, how many of you would object if he said he was anti-Semitic? Or how many of you would object if he said he was an Islamophobe?
I'm against...
Do you hear the difference, ladies and gentlemen? He just said with pride he's a Christophobe, and none of you were angered.
No one.
None of you were angered. This man is a bigot. This man is against millions of Christians just for the basis of their beliefs.
I'm against Christianity. I reject every form of religion. I'm against
Christians. If you are listening to me on video, or you are listening to me because you're stood here, you have to stand against people like this. You have to stand against people like this because they will enact policies against you as they are seeking to do so in Scotland. I'll come and debate you later. I'm going to come and debate you later. And when I come and debate him, watch him run. Watch him run when I come and debate him. I'll come and debate you later. Go on, Christopher. What is it you want to say?
I'm not against Christians or Jews or Muslims, but I reject religion having any role in shaping state policy.
So why do you think that you're
religious tolerance?
Why do you think?
I'm not against.
No, I heard your point.
Why am I not allowed to say?
I heard your distinction because you interrupted me. Because you interrupted me. You can't complain if I interrupt you, can you?
It's not a monologue.
There's that double standard again. I can interrupt the Christian and it's okay. But if the Christian interrupts me, it's rude. This is the double standard of the progressive. Would you like to do it times? Would you like to do it times? Right, so let me start off by making...
I just listened.
No, you did. You interrupted again. There you go. You're interrupting.
I listened to you.
So let me... There you're interrupting again. Double standards. So, ladies and gentlemen, since he's not listening, I'll make my point to you guys. Would you like to try and listen, and then I'll talk?
You're telling me to listen.
There you go, he's still not listening. He demands that I listen to him, but he won't listen to me. And you interrupted the whole time, so you can't complain. double standards again. We are going to take turns. I will go first. This was my conversation that you wanted to hijack. So I will go first. So, ladies and gentlemen, the progressive tells you that your religion should not influence state policy. But what they mean when they say that is that you should clear the field so that their political philosophy should dominate every sphere of our lives without challenge, without counter, and without alternative. His Epicurean religion of humanity, which is what he believes in, he's not a-religious, he has a religion. His Epicurean religion of humanity demands absolute, unchallenged power in the state, that only they and their religious philosophy can dominate public policy. We Christians do not have to agree. We can have a role in public life. We can have a role in public policy. We can have a role in statecraft. And they have no right to demand that we don't. And when they do, they are guilty of double standards. Go on.
I think there's been just straw man after straw man in this speech. And I have to address them one by one. First of all, First of all, I'm not against religious people having the right to practice their religion. I believe in religious tolerance. Second of all, I'm not an Epicurean. I haven't even read enough of the great philosopher Epicurus to really understand what he's saying, so I would never call myself that. Third of all, when I say I don't think religion should influence state policy, I mean exactly that. You can put words in my mouth if you want to, Mr. Speaker. I'll let everyone else in the audience make up their mind as to what I'm saying. But I would ask that you refrain from straw-manning me and attempt to try and understand what I'm saying if you want to give a valid criticism of it. Now, of course, we all bring our religious sentiments or lack thereof into the public sphere. I am an atheist. That will inform how I think about politics. You are a Christian. That will inform how you think about politics. What I'm calling for when I say that I see the need for a secular state is a desire to make sure that the state does not privilege one religion over any other. And in this respect, I oppose the Church of England as an established force in the political system here in England. And the same goes for the established church in Scotland, such as it is. I think the average British person, on the whole, has an apathy towards religion. And I think this has been a great measure of progress in the society. We should be thinking in a scientific way about social problems, about philosophical problems. We should be using rational debate. We should be using empirical experiment. We should be using logical argument. Appeals to faith, blind faith, in any religion, whether it's Judaism, Hinduism, Christianity, or Islam, or any other, I think will have profoundly negative results for the mass of the British people, including British people. I'll wrap up very quickly by saying, when I say I'm Christophobic, I have a great respect for Jesus Christ and his teachings, which I think for the most part, yourself and your friends at Speaker's Corner have a very ambivalent attitude towards.
Can I reply now?
I believe in elements of Christianity, elements of Islam. All right, but I do not think they should have any kind of hegemony in the British state.
Right.
No.
So here's the thing, ladies and gentlemen. The fact of the matter is, like most people in the West, he doesn't demonstrate an awareness of his own religious philosophical identity. The reality is, he may not know what Epicurean humanism is, but I do. And I am telling you, the West follows Epicurean humanism. Let me summarize it in a single sentence. The gods are not interested in the world or the universe. They've created it. It's running itself. The gods are somewhere else. We've been left alone, and we are left alone to run our own affairs. Does that not sound like atheism? Does that not sound like the way that we are doing things in the West? Now, he said that there is a detriment to putting religion into politics. I would argue the reverse, that as the West has abandoned Christianity, it has become more decadent. it has become more chaotic. It has become more fragmented as a society. We see the madness of the progressive world right now with the whole transgender ideology. We can't even admit to ourselves today that women are real things. That statement is controversial, according to the political elites. The political elites say there's no such thing as women, that it's something that's transferable and changeable. This is what happens when you take Christian truth out of politics. We have killed more people in our abortion mills than the Nazis ever killed in a concentration camp. We are close to 80 or 90 million people that have died because of abortion. Families have broken down, and countless numbers of brave single women are trying to raise children without the proper support. That has led to gang culture in East London, which has led to drug culture and the abuse of opioids like alcohol and cocaine in our society. Epicurean humanistic religion has failed. Why? Because you can't speak into every facet, and I'm landing, you can't speak into every facet of our human life through science, because science can't talk about love, it can't talk about values, it can't talk about the things that we organize our lives upon. It can only talk about the empirical world. The reality is, my opponent is not arguing for a secular neutral state. He is arguing for a state that backs his liberal progressive agenda. That's what he's arguing for, and he's trying to bluff everyone into accepting that his religious philosophy shouldn't be challenged in the public domain, and it should be. Go on.
Again, I need to address the 5 or 6 straw man arguments.
Jesus is dead. Wake up.
Keep going.
I'm not a liberal. I'm much further to the left. Nice to see you, Nick. Much further to the left than that, I would consider myself a revolutionary socialist. So in that sense, I reject liberalism as much as I reject capitalism. Not only that, but I actually have in common with you a rejection of abortion. I think abortion is a violation of human rights. So I think you've got to be careful, Mr. Speaker, before you... Well, you shake my hand now after you misrepresented me.
I didn't misrepresent you.
Yeah.
I talked about society.
I am not society. Let's
You've
have a debate with me.
yeah.
Let's talk to me.
You
and I'll talk to
misrepresented
you.
me just then.
Let's not have a discussion.
Sorry, but
with
anyway, I
society.
interrupted you. Sorry, go on.
I'm also very much critical, like you said, of the rise of decadence. Now, there's a very good point in what Mr. Speaker is saying. There was a time in America, for example, in the United States, where it was a very puritanical Protestant culture. And you didn't have the levels of consumerism, of debauchery that you have now. But what else?